Great news for Tesla. The Model S has received the highest safety rating ever awarded to a vehicle, and it's not purely happenstance. In fact, the reason it's rated so safe is actually because it is an electric vehicle. In fact, it was awarded 5.4 stars on the 5-star scale of vehicle safety scores, which actually seems weird. Now, normally they just release the 5 stars in the different categories, or less if you're not that safe. But in fact, they scored higher than those other vehicles. And so, as I said, the reason that it's so safe is actually because it's an electric vehicle, and I'm not just saying that. They actually imply it strongly in the test results for 2 different reasons. So, first, in terms of head-on collisions, they say the Model S has the advantage in the front of not having a large gasoline engine block, thus creating a much longer crumple zone to absorb a high-speed impact. So instead of having an extremely heavy engine in front of you that could move back into the passenger compartment, you have a very long area to have a front crumple zone. Now, not all electric vehicles have that. So mine, in particular, the Chevy Spark, actually has the motor in the front. But as they imply here, those are still smaller than regular gasoline engines, and so you can expect some of the safety benefits of it to translate over to other electric vehicles. Perhaps least surprisingly, though, in terms of rollover scores, it got 5 stars as well. They said that the Model S was also substantially better in rollover risk, with the other top vehicles being approximately 50% worse. These are not average vehicles in comparison to the Model S. These are the other top vehicles in comparison to the Model S. And really, this should be no surprise. Think about when you take a regular car and you add 600 pounds of batteries to the bottom tub of it. It's going to be much harder to make it roll over. In fact, during the testing, they said that their normal methods of making a car roll over simply did not work on the Model S, which is super interesting. They say the reason for such a good outcome is that the battery pack is mounted below the floor pan, providing a very low center of gravity, and this is something that it shares with basically every other electric vehicle currently on the market. Some of the other traditional gasoline vehicles that have been converted to electric don't have this. The Ford Focus electric has the battery pack mounted in the rear. The Fiat 500, though, for instance, does have it in the bottom pan. And so you can expect that other electric vehicles should share some of these safety benefits in terms of rollover risk. Now, this should be good news whether you are a fan of Tesla, a fan of electric vehicles in general, or just a fan of the American automobile industry. Because remember, this is not simply saying that the Tesla Model S is safer than gasoline-powered Fords. No, it's saying that it's safer than anything currently being produced by Toyota, Honda, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, any of the other top automobile manufacturers in the world. And with the American automobile industry being in a bit of a downturn for the past 10, 20, even 30 years as they've shifted more to SUVs and trucks, but the world has shifted more over to gasoline-efficient, smaller vehicles, this is a good thing. We want American automobiles to be the best in the world. And I think that while a lot of people, particularly on the conservative side of the media, were quick to deride Tesla as being some flight of fantasy of Elon Musk, this is a good thing for the worldwide perception of American automobiles. Now, many people would be quick to point out, yeah, maybe the Model S is super safe, but it's also a $60,000 to $90,000 car. And that is certainly true. But we know that starting next year, the Tesla Model X is going to come out. That should be somewhat cheaper than the Model S. And Elon Musk has said that 2 to 3 years from now, he's going to be coming out with a car priced between $30,000 and $40,000. Now, we can expect that in some ways it'll probably have less safety features than the Model S currently does, but it will have the battery pack mounted in the floor pan of the car. It will probably have a front crumple zone comparable to the Model S. And so we can expect that it too should be safe in the same way as the Model S. And so I'd like to point out here that I do not receive any money from Tesla. I know that I talk about it from time to time. It's one of my personal hobbies, I suppose, but I am an electric car enthusiast. I think that this is one thing that normal consumers can do to help combat climate change. Many of the big things that need to be done, like carbon capture and sequestration and things like that, is out of the hands of the normal consumer. But this is good news. If you're in the market for a new automobile and you have $60,000 to $90,000 to drop, you could do worse than buying a Model S.